this side of the ring because it's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, we're just gonna whack! In talking about Roman Reigns' Royal Rumble match, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that the original plan was a singles match with Randy Orton, but because some at WWE believe it was too early to have Reigns beat Orton because, quote, there's money to be made with Randy Orton and Roman in a program at some point, AJ Styles and LA Knight were added so one of them can take the pin. So that pretty much just spoils the match right there for you. It's a fatal four-way simply because they don't want Randy to lose, and they also don't want Roman to lose. It makes a lot of sense, though, because that definitely is a money match for sure. Based on the predicted matches that are happening at Elimination Chamber and at WrestleMania, it seems like that is something that they're probably maybe going to do at Fastlane, I guess, if they still do Fastlane. Do they still do Fastlane? Anyway, the point is it's something that they're gonna end up planning to do down the line. Now, I don't know if this is something that's gonna happen before Mania or after Mania, but the idea is that it's probably gonna happen at some point in the near future. Makes a lot of sense. I guess, they don't want to finish the whole story with Randy just yet. This is just something, that is going to wet everyone's whistle for the Royal Rumble, and it still sounds like it's going to be a great match, but even before then, I already kind of knew that Roman was going to win this, but now that I know he is for sure going to win this, I highly doubt that he's going to lose the match with Orton either. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of spoiling everything, unfortunately, but again, it makes sense, so either way, the fatal four-way is going to be good, and I can't wait to see the match with Orton, because I'm sure that's going to be good as well. Sticking with WWE, it's a prediction, not a spoiler, but in his 2024 forecast, sports business journalist John Oran has Amazon securing media rights to WWE Raw. The reporter believes Raw would remain on Monday nights as part of a strategy to give Amazon Prime more live programming and draw the young male demographic to its service. If Amazon doesn't pony up, Oran could see Disney getting Raw rights and putting the show on FX. So, pretty much what I was saying. I don't really see Raw going on Amazon, although it definitely does sound like a very big get for Amazon, and it's not far out of Amazon's wheelhouse to stream, stuff like that on their program. I mean, they've already got the Thursday night slot for NFL, so a Monday night slot for Raw would definitely be, something that they could definitely utilize to their strengths, and like the report said, the whole trying to get the younger audience, and that would definitely help them as well. I mean, it's something that could potentially happen, but like I said in the past, if there's anyone who's going to have a big, what am I trying to say? If there's anyone who's going to have a big enough pull, right, for Raw, it would definitely be Disney, but I could definitely see Amazon kind of sneaking in and being like, well, I could give you this much, you know what I mean? I don't 100% know. This is one of those things that's, again, just, way up in the air, and it's hard to make a prediction just because of different factors and all the money that's being thrown around, like I said before. So, I don't really know. There's not really a whole lot to say here, just because, Amazon and Disney are, two heavy hitters. You know what I mean? When it comes to programs and lucrative deals and stuff like that. So, it's really hard to say at this point. I agree with Oran. I don't know if that's his name. I agree with him, though, that if there's going to be the two, big honchos in the mix right now, Amazon and Disney are definitely the two main ones that I'm going to speculate. But my money's still on Disney. I'm still going with Disney. And if not Disney, then, like you said, Amazon. Next, Giulia wasn't happy that rumors of WWE's interest in her leaked so far in advance of her Stardom deal ending this spring per Fightful Select. She's still, quote, a potential priority acquisition for WWE that's expected to join the company later this year. Plans call for Giulia to start in NXT unless she works outside the company with her own trainers to get main roster ready. She's a good fit for both, to be totally honest with you, but I'm still sticking with my original statement, which is she definitely would be a fantastic fit in NXT, and there's so many different people and factions and storylines that she could get involved in and dip her fingers into that would be fantastic for NXT. I'm not saying that she wouldn't be a good fit on the main roster. I feel like right now the main roster is kind of getting a little, the women's division of the main roster is kind of getting a little bit foggy, if that's just, and that's just my opinion, because I'm looking at the whole tag team division and all that, and it just doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of people that they have floating around in the women's division right now. And I feel like Giulia, she wouldn't get lost. She'd be kind of like alone. You know what I mean? Like there wouldn't be a whole lot of people that she could bounce off of. Like maybe Rhea Ripley. Who else? I mean, like, and I would love to. I would say like Shayna Baszler or Zoe Stark, but like they're in the tag team division right now, so that's why I'm saying NXT would definitely be a better fit, just because there's a lot more people that she can like bounce off of and everything. But I'm not really gonna sit here and say that she would be a good fit for the roster. Maybe she could be a jab in the leg that the roster needs to get everybody moving around a little bit more. I don't 100% know, but I'm still sticking with the whole NXT thing. I think she would be great there, and I'm glad to know that the spoiler wasn't enough to like sway her and be like, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm glad that I was a little bit worried that like she was gonna like hear about that and be like, you know what, never mind, I'm not going. Like I'm glad that she still ends up she's still going with WWE. So again, can't wait to see when she shows up, and I personally want to see her in NXT, not the main roster. Moving right along, in a report about WWE's interest in partnering with Japanese promotions, Fightful Select didn't have much new information, but had multiple sources stress to them that, quote, the company was in a new era and things could be done a lot differently. So this is why I was so excited about Hiroshi Tanahashi being the president for NJPW, and WWE wants to work with Stardom, and they're bringing Giulia in and stuff like that. It's 2024, folks. We're in a new era. Wrestling is not the same as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Everyone is more than willing to open extend their olive branch, so to speak, and interlock their fingers with one another. And like that's why I was saying before, like I'm so glad that we're now in the era of wrestling, not even WWE, but wrestling as a whole, where companies are more than willing to partner up with people and collaborate, and you've got TNA working with AEW, and AEW's working with NJPW, and you've got, guys from AEW going over to WWE. There's so much more different people dipping their chip into the salsa and the nacho cheese and what have you. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much more happening than there would have been in the McMahon regime and way back when. I'm so glad that the Forbidden Door is now, it's a revolving door. I was thinking more of like the door in like restaurants where they like swing open on the hinge and stuff. The point is, there's way more like collaboration going on in the modern era, and I'm so glad for that. I'm so happy that nobody is promoting tribalism. Like every sane wrestling fan is like, I think all wrestling's great, and I love when there's competition, because that just means more great wrestling to watch. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what that report is saying, is we're in a new era. Nothing's off the table. You know what I mean? I mean, you got Raw potentially going to Amazon or FX and stuff like that. Like, there's so many, like, TNA's coming back. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much good coming out of wrestling in the modern era. I'm here for it. I hope you're here for it, okay? I hope you're not promoting tribalism. And I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for what TNA and, MLW and AEW and NJPW and Stardom and WWE. I am so here for every single wrestling promotion right now to collaborate with one another and provide the greatest product that wrestling can give for its audience. Finally, WWE recently filed the trademark, quote, Final Testament. Speculation is this is for something related to the new Karrion Kross / AOP faction. So the last time WWE trademarked something like this, it was Valhalla, right? And I thought Valhalla was going to be the name of the faction, and it ended up being the name of Sarah Logan. Now, Final Testament sounds like a finisher. It sounds like the name of the faction. It sounds like a segment that they could start doing. It sounds like a lot of different things. Either way, it's a great name, right, for their combination, and it makes me excited for what they've got planned for them. I hope that it is the name of the faction, because, like I said, that sounds like a fantastic name for everybody involved, right? Still a bit confused by Paul Ellering's here, but it's happening now, and I like his new finisher, right? So there's not really much else to say, just because we have to wait and see what exactly they end up incorporating with it. But for right now, I'm all for it, and again, sounds like a great name for their faction. Could be a finisher, again, could be a segment, who's to say? But either way, I'm here for it. What do we talk about? WWE's discussed Sean Waltman, Naomi, and Liv Morgan as surprise entrants in this year's Royal Rumble matches per PW Insider. That's good to know. Sean Waltman, sure, fine. For those of you who don't know, that's X-Spot, if I'm correct. So we know Naomi's coming back. We knew that already. And Liv Morgan's going to make a return. That's great. I want Pinky in the Rumble too, please. All right, so Orton's not eating the pin. Roman's not eating the pin. That tells you what's going to happen at the Rumble. I don't know if they're probably going to do that at Fastlane. I don't even know if Fastlane is still a thing. It probably is, so they might do it at Fastlane. It's something that they could potentially do at Backlash. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, tells you what's going to happen. Alright, so Sports Business Journal's John Orand, in his 2024 forecast, I'm assuming that had something to do with 2020 forecast. That sounds great. So he's saying that it could potentially end up on Amazon, and that's something that they could use to pull in the younger audience. That makes sense. Again, they're streaming a bunch of different stuff. So that's why I said wrestling wouldn't be entirely out of their wheelhouse. And they're already doing the Thursday night slot, so the Monday night slot would be fantastic for them. And if not Amazon, then FX. This is pretty much what I said, because Disney's got a whole lot of money. And the only other person who has a whole lot of money besides Disney is Amazon, so it could potentially be those two big heavy hitters. We'll have to wait and see. Giulia was upset because her interest in WWE got leaked. I'm glad that didn't really sway her opinion with anything. It sounds like she's going to still go with NXT. I prefer her to be on NXT because there's more she can do, but she might train and end up on the main roster. We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening with that. Alright, so in a report, WWE's interest partnering with promotions. Fabulous selected not much new information. Stressed that the company was in a new era. That's what I love. We're in a new era, okay? We're not in the McMahon regime. It's not 2007. It's 2024. Everyone is willing to work with one another, and I can't wait to see what everybody does. Alright, WWE filed a trademark for Final Testament. I'm assuming that's the faction. It could be, one of the names, or it could be the name of AOP. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know 100%. Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole Valhalla thing, threw me off. So, I don't know. Name, faction, finisher, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, and finally, based on his LinkedIn, Shane Emerson has been promoted to AEW's Vice President of Global Programming and Partnerships. His title had been Head of Global Programming and Partnerships. So shout out to Shane. He got a promotion. Good to know that he's moving up in the world, and I can't wait to see what else he's got going on. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.